Hi, and welcome to another episode of No Boundaries, the podcast. And this is the Black Girl Magic edition. It's an edition in which I speak to incredible women, all of African descent, about our community, what binds us, what are the differences, and what keeps us moving, what keeps us going. And maybe you can hear it by my voice. Let me just breathe in and out. I am so excited because I'm talking to a person I love so much and I don't speak enough to, but she is so important to me. I love her so much. It's my little baby sister. It's my little sister, my amazing, beautiful, gorgeous sister who's 10 years younger than me, who I am crazy about. And I'm so proud of her. She is a parliament member at Lower Saxony for the Green Party. And in her portfolio, she has education, she has social issues, and of course, discrimination, racism. Her name is Helena. I always say Helena, but it's Lena Nzume. Yeah, we have the same dad. We don't have the same mom, but we are sisters. And Lena, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you and happy to be here with you. So I'm really excited too.
This is so wonderful. Oh my God. Yeah. Open and honest conversations. And we haven't spoken. I mean, we follow each other fanatically on social media. So I have the feeling I know everything about your life, but we don't speak enough.
That's true.
That is
true.
just true.
We have to do that more.
We have to do that more.
I'm really happy to see you and I'm really happy about what you're doing. I'm so proud of you too. So it's really amazing. And you were the one who brought me really to consider racism. So that's really also a big issue for me. And now to talk to you about my experience, it's just like, wow.
Really, it is. Yeah. Full circle, beautiful moment. And we're both wearing red. We didn't plan this.
No, that's true.
Our connection. Beautiful. Okay, so Lena Nzume, you live in Germany. I live in New York City. You live in Oldenburg, Germany. And that's where you are a politician and in parliament. So that's, where you are right now. You're about to get married. I'll be there at the wedding. We're all coming with the family to join your beautiful wedding, your second wedding, right, to your husband. We'll speak. Yeah, because you're already officially married.
Not my second. I was just thinking, no, it's my first, but our second wedding. So
first marriage, second wedding.
Exactly.
I have one marriage, but we had 3 weddings. So, I love it. Multiple weddings. You were at my wedding in Cameroon.
Yes.
Remember? Yeah. So, no, I'm going to be at your wedding in Oldenburg. But so you were born in Cameroon, same dad, your mom, Astrid, who I know, of course, also very well. But you were raised in Oldenburg, Germany.
Yes. Partly in Cameroon for the first 8 years. And then we left to Germany.
Yeah.
And then I was in Westerstede, not in Oldenburg where I live, but it's around the area.
Yeah, the same area of Oldenburg. So, okay, let's start then at the beginning, because I remember visiting you when we were just born, and I'll post a picture in my newsletter of me with you, baby Lena, me 10 years old, holding you, or like you're on the couch and I'm like next to you. So that's one of our first pictures together. So you were born in Germany, or not?
No, I was born in Cameroon.
Okay, so tell me, you were born in Cameroon, but you came really quickly to Germany to visit family, right?
Yes. And my mom came, so I don't really remember that, but yeah, she did, and she was really excited to meet you because she did she knew about Dad's before former relationships, but I think she was really excited to put us together because she was having the feeling also her junior sister is like 10 years younger than her, so for her it was a big exciting moment too.
Yeah, it was beautiful moments. We drove, my mom and I, and it was also both our mothers. They always got along. There was absolutely no issues there. And I'll post the pictures in our newsletter. But tell me, so I never had a childhood in Cameroon. First time I came to Cameroon, I was 16. Tell me what you remember of the first 8 years and particularly how you identified.
Well, it's kind of tough to remember because what I remember is I was quite privileged because my mom and dad were like the couple in Cameroon. Many visitors were coming from Germany also to be with us, and actually one girl called out to me and told me that we met in Cameroon when we were junior. But I remember having like a big playground, and because Dad was a doctor and my mom was doing developing aid. So they had a luxurious, situation. And I had this big playground where the kids from the neighborhood would come. And I remember that I was really into education, and I wanted to go to school when I was around 4 years old, because the elders in our house were going to school. And Dad was always giving space to people from the village. So there were a lot of young people always around us and taking care of us. And there was really like a big family, very open. We had a lot of parties. We had a lot of people coming. So that's what I remember most. And I remember being very tied to the neighbors around the place. So, and what I remember was being like the white one in Cameroon. It was kind of strange because I was feeling like, also like Cameroonian, and we didn't speak German in Cameroon. We spoke mostly English and also a bit of Bakossi, the language of that. But that's not really what I remember so much. I was just like being around. I remember when we left to Germany, that's when the time for me got tough, because I really miss Cameroon a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I visited you right before you. No, not before, because you were 6. So when I came we had Christmas together. I was 16, you were 6. And yeah, seeing your life, the house was beautiful, friends, people staying over, because Dad would have people living in the house, pay for school, pay for education, and they would also, help around the house. But it was really, it was like an exchange program, right? It was sort of like having au pairs, or and they were all family members, cousins, and yeah, we would all have fun. I would go out with the teenagers and party with them, and then come home late, and then sleep with you in the bed. It was a beautiful family vacation. And Stefan, our little brother, your full brother, my little half brother, was a baby, and I remember his christening and everything. Yeah, it was a fantastic vacation, and your life looked like ideal, like so beautiful. The house, the friends, school, everything, right? But you were called literally white there. Were you like the white girl?
Yes, I was. White man was
White man, yes.
very usual call. And I remember, because you brought Lego, and we built a small house, and that was a great time. I really loved that. And the way you were playing with me, I was just really happy. Yes, but in Cameroon, was the situation being mixed, and being, of course, lighter than others. It was also, I didn't have the words, but I think it was also kind of colorism, because everybody was excited for me to be around, and also because of that and the situation. Dad was really a honorable man of society, and he did a lot for the village. He did a lot for the people. And his clinic, he called EJET Clinic. So there was our clinic, and he was helping the poor people. So he was really doing really good social work. And I think that, plus being also light, and so it was like everybody was saying, oh, I want to get married to you. I want you to be around us. And so, yeah, that was kind of weird also.
I remember you as a little girl would get marriage proposals, and I would also at 16 get like marriage proposals, boys, men, everybody. And Dad was, I remember he was really sort of like, okay, how can we? He was happy with that, because, with our people, girls are the prize, because they leave the family, they'll join another family, right? And then you get a big dowry. And the more, educated and the better the family is, and light skin privilege would mean a bigger dowry. So it was kind of weird, but we laughed about it, I remember, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then, of course, your parents separated, Dad and your mom. That must have been very sad. And then you moved to Germany, and there you became Black, I assume.
Yes, that's interesting. That's true, because in Germany, then all of a sudden I was Black, even though I was in a really international class. And when I came, I was really welcomed by some friends, but I was also getting discriminated, like mobbing and stuff like that. So I was just like feeling really sad. I remember I was really crying at times, wishing to go back to Cameroon. And on the other hand, I was in the school. Sometimes I was experiencing not like really, you're black and we don't want to play with you, but it was just the girls didn't want to be around me. They didn't want to play with me at times. And I remember one incident at school, because I was really a shy kid and a shy girl when I came. But at one point, I drove one guy away from school because he was really hitting on me, and I got into a fight with him. And Dad had, I don't know if he should have told me about it, and Mom told me about it, that when he was young and he was being argued or being bullied, he had like a ring, and he said, this ring is really powerful, and with this ring he's going to be more respected. And I remembered that, and I was just like, okay, I'm getting putting out my strength. And then I really fought with that boy. Mm-hmm. And after that was okay, then it was fine.
Good.
But it was really strange, because for me, being bullied because of my color, now being black, was a really weird experience. And also at that time, they didn't have like words for racism. It was just like being bullied, and nobody really talked about maybe it's also a racial issue.
But so in Cameroon, so as I understand, your color was positive. You were lighter. It was like, light skin privilege.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden in Germany, that was all gone. But didn't your mom speak to you about it when you were moving? Or maybe, what were the lessons your mom taught you before you moved and went to school there?
No, we didn't speak about it. She was considering me as a German. For her, it was really when I got older and we talked about, for me being a black woman in Germany, she realized I'm black. So for her, it was she was not really seeing me as a black girl or black child. And she was also really amazed, because she always wanted mixed or black children. When she went to Cameroon, it was one of a big wish for her coming true, being in Africa, being in Cameroon, and then falling in love with that. And she was really happy, but she never thought that even though she had some strange experiences also being facing racism, for her it was not that of a topic when we came to Germany, that it could be an issue for us. It was just when we came.
Okay, so your mom loved being in Cameroon. Her dream came true. She had beautiful babies with Dad. And I know your mom was always very liberal and socially aware. I remember she told me she performed in the musical Hair. She was traveling. So she was aware. And considering the history of Germany, I'm surprised to hear that she didn't speak to you about it and didn't consider how you and Stefan, your brother, my little brother also, how you guys would be treated. Have you spoken to her later when you were older about it? Like, Mom, that's kind of weird.
No. What I'm going to talk to her about it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't talk about how the situation was when she moved to Germany, but later on we had a lot of discussions of me, not realizing, but confronting her with my experiences. And I know she was protective for me, but also, she had that experiences, how do you say, a Missbrauch. She was raped as a child. And so both came together, like me being a girl, being a black girl. And she was always really protective, like, don't be too shiny, don't be too loud, don't be dressed too short, don't have too short dresses. And it was both really like later on I realized it's also about the
exoticism, right?
Yes. In German.
You as a light-skinned but black woman.
Yes.
And that has like an exoticism, a sexiness about it. I'm writing about it. I'm writing a third book, and I'm studying that there's literally, like, the media always had like 3 archetypes for women. the Jezebel, the sexy, black girl, the mammy, the mom, who takes care of mostly white children, and the Sapphire, who's like the mean, angry black woman. Those three archetypes were very projected by the media, socially, culturally, also on us as women. And a big dangerous part of that, of course, is the Jezebel, the sexy, exoticized black girl. And so what I'm understanding now is your mom was worried about that because of her own experiences. So what did you, first of all, I'm so sorry. I know that we spoke about that. Tell me how that it affected her motherhood to you, and how did you then later talk about it?
Yeah, we talked about it later, but when I was a child, also here, when we came, we talked about it like she was being protective and telling me to be really taking care of and aware about the situation. And I know it was at first for me was just like, oh no, I don't want this, and what's going on? And I was like, maybe okay, opposing it. And when I got older, we talked about it very intensively, and was like a mixture. Also, me getting aware of the situation, because when I talked about racism, I could put both things together. Yeah. So I was, as you said, I was just like getting words for my experiences. Yeah. And that was a big change also in our relationship, because she then could see that my experiences are also different as a black woman. So it was also a big change in our relationship. Yes, sure.
It's a very different what I'm learning from research. If you're like us, mixed race, light skin, whatever you want to call it, but women of African descent, is very different if you have a black mom or if you have a white mom. There's a very big difference, because right. What for you? Because you've studied sociology. It's your work now. What have you learned about that difference? Because you are a black mom now. I mean, of a son, but you are a black mom. So tell me about the lessons you've learned.
Well, I learned that it's very common, and also with the experiences now with the case of Lawrence, the black guy that died in that was shot by the police in Oldenburg.
He was killed.
All of a sudden, yes, he was shot. 5 times in the back. It's still in the judge to be.
The case is ongoing. So explain the case for our audience.
Yeah, it was last year that a young boy at the age of 20 was killed by the police, by a police officer. And he was killed from the shots were from behind. There were 5 shots in his head, in his shoulders, and the leg. And the case is still going on, so it's difficult to talk about it. But it was a big shock for all of Oldenburg. But all of a sudden, because his mom is also white and his dad is African. I don't know from which country. But for many people, many parents in Germany, many white parents in Germany and in Oldenburg, it was a big moment of surprise that could happen in Oldenburg. But for many black people, was like, okay, it's shocking, but it can happen. And we already spoke to our kids about facing racism, or maybe facing it was not open racism, but being aware of being careful with the police and other institutions. And what I wanted to say is that of a sudden, many white people were like aware of the situation, that it's a difference in how safety is felt in Oldenburg. And I had conversations with my mom about that, because she always thought we were Germans and we were white and we were so and for me now, being a mom of a black, and he's white passing, so it's also a difference. And my son went to the US and stayed with Chantal, our cousin. So at that moment, I was just thinking, okay, can I let him go to the US? And who knows what's going to happen, but at least he's white passing. So I was not so afraid about him. But I always talked to him about being black and being also white passing, and we were quite aware of the whole situation. And yeah, for many people that made really a big difference here in Germany, in Oldenburg.
So it was like a shock to the system. And
Yes.
how is that now politically affecting where you are right now politically? So the case is still ongoing, but what is the temperature? What are people feeling? Because there's a lot going on in Germany politically. It's also, there's a big shift to the right. So how is this case influencing what you're doing in your work for the party in parliament?
Well, it is influencing because the kids are really afraid to talk about it, and it's like a big wound in Oldenburg. And I'm trying to build bridges between institutions and the kids, and so we're having different groups and group talks about that. We had also a place where the kids could grieve and could be sad, and could also put out their emotions about the whole case. And politically, we're trying to put into the laws about police, about the police, but also in around education system, that we need like more places where Black people or affected people can also
criticize the system,
Yes.
or make a case, or
Yes.
yeah. So make it so there should be institutions where they can report.
Exactly. Yes. And what also putting more education about racism into the education Ausbildung of the police. What is it when you want to become a police officer? You have to go to the school and go to university, and that's where we also start to say, okay, we have to think about the institution and how it affects people in different ways.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this episode. And this episode is made possible by AJET Coaching. Yes, my own coaching service. AJET is a West African word for togetherness. And after years of creating conversations about all sorts of topics, about race, about relationship, about parenting, about culture, I want to work together with you to help you stand in your light. Because maybe you're working on your next steps after becoming a mom, or after menopause. Maybe you are facing some difficulties at work, trying to navigate through complex systems that were not built for us. Maybe you're having issues with your relationship, with your family dynamics, or maybe you just want to see yourself more clearly. For all those things, I got you, because as an ICF certified life coach, I'm here to help you, for instance, with communication skills. How can you speak even more clearly, maybe sometimes hard to the matter, but always soft to the person without losing yourself? And how do you navigate through those difficult, sometimes intricate, maybe even, borderline racist spaces without shrinking yourself? That's where I come in. So if you are ready to work with me together on yourself, please book a free consultation. Click on the link below and enjoy the rest of the episode. Yeah, I think it's very important also to look how the systemic mechanism of whiteness, what it does also to white people. There's this beautiful quote there's an interview with Toni Morrison. I'll link that in the show notes, where she explains that if this is what you have, I mean, I'm paraphrasing a Nobel Prize winner here, so forgive me. But what she says is, if your whiteness is so important to you, if this is all you have and it causes violence and you're willing to kill for it, you have to go back and, find out what that is, what you are without that. It's something that white people also have to study. I think that's so interesting. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's really true, but it's very difficult for white people to realize that racism also affects them and that they are privileged from racism. We had a big talk when the incident happened, not long ago after the incident, the shooting, and it was really difficult for the police also to say that there's a structural racism in Germany, and it's the same in education. When I go to schools and when I talk about racism, it's very difficult for people people because they think it's like a racist person that affects this, but they don't think about it systemic, about the system. Yes,
exactly. So there's still, I think, a disconnect between individually, like, but I'm not like that, but structurally, systemically, we live in a racist system. And that juxtaposition, that difference is hard also for white people to grasp, right? Yes. Even if I'm not like that, doesn't mean that the system isn't racist, right? And then they become like almost, they get like a cognitive dissonance. It's difficult to combine those issues. I mean, I would hope that Germany, because of the history of the Second World War, is further along in the discussion. But it sounds like that's not true.
No. I would say it's both. There's more awareness about the situation, but it's also the right-winged parties are getting stronger, and we're having 5 elections in this year. So it's going to be crazy, and I'm really scared of what's going to happen. But on the other hand, I'm thinking that, okay, well, I'm doing everything I can to really open up people to go to school, to discuss with people. And so I'm doing my best also as a politician, maybe to make laws that are more open and more diverse, and considering that, like, I think we really need to put into law that people can report racism in any kind of institutions. And that's what we're really fighting for right now.
So that's not in law yet. No. So what happens now? So take me then, if I work at a company or for the government or something, and I experience racism and I can prove it, then what do I do then? There's no place I can go?
There are places you can go, 2 sides, because if you work at a company, it's different. But if someone is being discriminated by in a school, like kids are not protected, but teachers are, because they are working there. But we have that lack for students, or for also for students in university. So it's different if you are really working in the company. That's something else that is protected, and you can go to different places to report. But if you are at the school, and then there's a lack of protection.
Resources. Yeah, and protection. Wow. And so what is now the political situation? Because just for our American viewers to understand, Germany is a big country and they have big states, right? And just like in the United States, states also have their own laws and their own rights. So you have federal and you have state laws, yes. Right? And you work on a state level.
Yes, exactly. And right now we're trying to put the protection of children and pupils into the law. And we're also trying to put into the teachers' training more things about racism and discrimination, and also about the past, because colonialism is hardly taught at school in Germany. So, and if colonialism is taught at school, it's just about France and England being colonial states, but Germany's role is hardly taught. So also there's a big lack of knowledge in Germany, and I'm really trying to put that into the school system, into the education system, and also a lot of political knowledge. And right now, because we're seeing that the right-wing party is getting stronger, so we're trying to go to the youth to maybe but to show them how to be a Democrat and how to feel as a Democrat and how to learn and to discuss as Democrats, because it's a different way of arguing and discussions, and also to feel sometimes you're in the bigger part and sometimes you're in the minor part. But we have also the situation, like I was saying, a lot of discrimination also around kids, and also from teachers to kids. So that's a lot of work to do, but
beautiful and important work. And how does it make you feel? How is that for you to do this?
Mixed. I'm really, it's like a dilemma, and most times I'm feeling good about it. I'm really happy for me being at that position, but also I'm sometimes, thinking that we have to do more, and I'm really fighting to do more. But it takes time to change a system, so also to be patient about that, and not to burn myself into work. And so it's a kind of mix, and also, of course, feeling it as a person, as knowing how the situation is at the school, and also not having words, as I said at the first. But I think that we need more awareness, and also to empower the kids to be proud of themselves, and to be able to speak out for themselves. And there's a lot of changes going on, but on the other side, of course, we're having more racial issues because of the right-wing parties now.
Yeah. Well, how is that in your state? Is there also like a surge of right-winged in your state?
It's getting better, but it's also it's there, but it's not that bad as in other countries. But right now, the AfD, that is the right-wing party in Germany, was considered as rechtsextremist. Maybe you want to.
No,
They're really
I mean,
extreme.
yeah. So like an extreme right-wing party, like that's close to neo-Nazism, right? If it's extreme right.
Exactly.
So that's scary.
And it's both, because also in the parliament, they're discussing with us, and they're also maybe at times using words that are really insultive. And because in Lower Saxony, we're just two black women. We're three POC women in the parliament. And when some members of the parliament from the AfD are going to make their talk, then they use insultive words also. Maybe they're trying to make us angry, and it's really tough sometimes. And it's really good to know that there's so many other people fighting, and it's just. But it's hard, and it's difficult for us to be there and to listen to them.
And how are you getting some sort of protection, even emotional? Is there from the party, because it's your work, right? Is there a support system for you? Do you get like, a coach or counseling or support emotionally? Because that's hard. And as a woman, and being attacked literally by extreme right party members.
No, it's not that there's counseling or so, but I mean, we can get it for ourselves. But before us, it was not really considered that it might be needful. And also with our party and in our group, we then started talking about it, and also got some experts about racism and discrimination, and we talked about it as a group. So that was really good. But it's not that it was put at first, but it had to happen by us being there and saying, "Oh, we need some counseling about this."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And now, is there like a system in place that kind of protects and supports the women of color and the black women?
We're working on that. But we're going. It's still work in progress. Exactly. Yes.
Are you? That's a very difficult question to ask, and I think also difficult to answer. But we open and honest. Are you in danger?
I don't think so. I honestly still think we're okay, but also we had some situations where our office was attacked. So sometimes that makes me worry. Sometimes also on the internet, there was some really rough talk. But I still think, and really, maybe I want to believe in it, that it's not that bad, and it's sometimes difficult to let it close to me. But I'm trying to always to take care that I know that people know where I am, and friends know what I'm doing. And so I'm trying to take some protection for myself, but also going to the police. And that's really what is, Yeah, it's good, and it's really for me with the case of Lawrence also really important that we need some protective institutions, and we need to have trust in them. So we need them also to consider that our feelings are different than the feelings of white people. So that's like the mixture of my situation right now.
That's heavy. And especially with the AfD, I mean, that's a scary party. I mean, this is serious business for you and being so visible. How do you also, for other women who go through it, because racism literally drains you, is literally makes women sick. If you look at the numbers here in the United States, African-American women, they are in so much more danger, even just going to hospital or even just getting the right medication, let alone giving birth safely. If you look at the rates of women losing their lives while giving birth is scary, the difference between white women and black women. If you look at also hypertension, blood sugar levels, heart rates, it's serious. So what is your advice for women? How do you take care of yourself?
Oh, well, I'm doing sports. I'm meeting friends. I'm trying to also step out at a time and to really relax. And it helped me a lot knowing that other people, other women are there for me. So I talk a lot about this with my friends, and that keeps me strong. But I also have like the feeling that it's a long way to go, because let me share one really emotional incident with you and one emotional experience, because I'm going to schools a lot. And when I went to one school, the teacher said, well, students, you're going to talk to a real politician right now. And then I came around the corner, and in front there were two black girls. They were just like really so amazed that I was coming there to talk to them. And there was just like, okay, that's really heartbreaking, because they didn't consider that a black woman would going to talk to them. And for me, that shows how far we still have to struggle and to fight. But for those two girls, when we discussed and they opened up and they got the feeling that they could also be a politician or do whatever they want to do, I was just like happy for them. So I was just like, that gives me motivation and makes me strong. But it's also good, of course, to at times really step out and say, today I'm not going to do anything, or I'm going just to do something that is good for me, going to the theater, going to the movie, and step out for a moment. But those moments also, like, it's really emotional then.
Yeah, and makes it worth it, right? Then you see why you're doing this important work. I mean, I was hoping, you're 10 years younger than me. My daughters are 30 years younger than me. At my age, I'm like, and if I think how our dad also fought for these things, it's in his home country to get his own country independence, right? It's, difficult not to become pessimistic, right? We have to stay optimistic. And these glimmers of hope, when you see those girls, that really helps, that resonates. Yeah. So Lena, we are both married, little pivot, we're both married to white men, the enemy. No. How does your white man, who's also in politics, and he's also, an older, established white guy, how does he support you? And was that an issue in the beginning of the relationship? Because Martijn and I, in the beginning, we struggled. The first 10 years, we had a lot of talks and discussions, and it took a while for us both to get in sync. Him being married to a black woman and me explaining to him, you're married to a black woman. Hello, we have to figure this out. How is that in your relationship?
Yeah, it was very important in our relationship. We actually met because I asked him what he's doing for anti-racist or discrimination critical work. Like, oh God, my English is bad. We have to talk more. But it was my first question to him. So he's a teacher, so I was just wanting to know what he thinks he could do about it. And after that, we talked a lot, and he can I share this?
The internet. Wait a minute.
I don't know. He's going to kill me, but I'm going to share it anyway. So
he's a teacher. Oh, so he's not in politics, Lena?
He's a teacher. He's in politics. He's
yeah.
He is, but he is a teacher originally. And when we met, that was the first question. And then he's going to be angry, but I think he's fair enough to say there was a big mistake. He's also into theater. And he was doing a play with a group of young people, and he did blackfacing when he was a teacher. So, and he didn't. Yeah, he was really not aware of what he was doing.
Yes. But why was it blackface? Like, hey, let's play rappers, or was it Sinterklaas, like the German and Dutch racist children's celebration? Why was there blackface involved?
I really don't know. I mean, he told me that it was a group, and it was the Witcher of Salem, and there was one black person, and he didn't know any black person. So he, in a really bad situation moment, decided to blackface a blonde girl, which was really crazy. And that's how we met, because I was just like, oh my God, that's crazy. How could you have ever done this? And he said, yeah, he started thinking about racism. And when we met and we discussed a lot, and he already knew it was wrong. It was like some years ago, no? Was not at the moment we met, but still, he was just like, oh my God, yes, I consider, and I really know how bad it is now. And how people really suffer from racism. And it's a big issue, because we're both into education and look from different perspectives into education. And sometimes, he can also connect with some things, but other things are really tough for him, because he was red-haired. And as a kid, he also experienced a lot of discrimination. So even though he had that experience, he could really not feel, or maybe sometimes he could understand, but on the other hand, different things are so out of his mind. So we really had a lot of topics and discussions about it. And I think also meeting, being a couple, that made him aware of so many different things now, that he's really an ally, I would say. So he had really gone a long way, but
ally. Well, but
really,
I think we can tease white men. I think we can be very strict for white men, but at least he's learning and he took responsibility, right?
Really, really. He did. And now he's, I mean, it's still an issue, because sometimes he can't understand when I'm saying, okay, I'm facing like this and that, and also the projection of being sometimes a dominant or maybe angry black woman, and I'm struggling with it, because sometimes in a political field, women also have to be not dominant, but also like knowing what they want and being straight. And so sometimes I'm facing the that projection of you're too really strong and tough, and so I'm just like, no, but if I don't step up and don't argue for it, nobody's going to do that. So it's like, it's not mixed.
The beautiful double whammy of sexism and racism, misogynoir. That is the term. And that's a different issue. And that's also a different issue from white women who are being treated in a sexist way, right? It's all different levels. Yeah. No, are you working also with intersectionality? Do you know intersectionality, the term from Kimberly Crenshaw? How explain to me how that, because for me that I remember like reading it, like tick, 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 all those doors opened. How was that for you? When did you start thinking and discover that? Do you remember? In study, in sociology or not?
No, it was after my studies. It was also when I was becoming a trainer for diversity, and also in the university, but not in my studies. But I wanted to do a PhD at first. So before I went into politics, that's when I started doing it about theoretically. And emotionally was like 3 years ago. There was in the training for diversity, and it was a beautiful color picture, and a person, someone whom I really appreciate, said it's like everything is going to your body. So I'm a Black woman, I'm facing different things, and it's all in my body, and you cannot separate the one experience from the other. So I was just like, yeah, I know how it is also to be poor, because when after studies I was having heart sphere, because I was a single mom, and I know how it is to not to have a lot of money, and I know how it is so classism and racism and sexism is coming to me in my body. So
wow.
And in my experiences. And for me, it's really important to think about it, because also when I try to evolve maybe something for schools, I always think like, okay, what is coming first? Is it racism? Is it sexism? But it's all together. You cannot separate the one thing from the other thing. So you need to have both. And we had like also a discussion also of having a place, a report place for women. And the Black women were saying, well, we need also something intersexually, because as we talked, exoticism is different for Black women. And if the place is not aware of those issues, it's hard for me to go there and to talk about my experiences. So we have to talk about, and we have to consider that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And did that become part also of the policy for that group?
It was a fight though, because for white women it was not an issue, and it almost got into the situation that this place could not happen, because the white women were just like saying we should not put too many things into that position. But the Black women were already saying, but we need to talk about both. So it's, if there's a place, then it needs to be both.
And it did happen. So did they get?
And at last it did.
And what was the effect then later on also on the white women? Did they learn from that? Did that open, doors in their heads?
Yes, it is. It did. But I would just say, like, if it's feminism and it's white feminism, it's not open enough, because it doesn't consider the experience of other people, of other women, of Lintas in their position. We need a queer, a feminist, interracial position or education also.
Absolutely, especially in education. There's so much to win in education, because especially with young minds, the openness and the willingness at a young age to, you have the bandwidth to open so many doors. It's with the youth. That's a beautiful possibility we have. So about youth, so I think that's a beautiful change to our kids, because we had sons about the same time, but you're 10 years younger. Like you said, you were very young, single mom on your own. I was far away, and you did it. Your son is incredible. I mean, Leander is fantastic. He's doing so well. You must be so proud of him. Now looking back, how did you do that? You were still studying and working. I mean, you were like, 24 when you became a mom, right?
26. I was 26, a bit older, but not
you just finished your education. You were starting to work. So looking back, how proud of you are yourself? How did you do it?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of proud, but I was, for me, it was just like, how do you say? It was just like, it was just my life. So I didn't think about it, but looking back, I would say that was a big topic. But Yeah, I'm really happy that everything went fine, even though you were not around, but you were there. So because when we started talking also about racism, and I got much aware about different things, and also being a mom, and we discussed about that. Also having like a son, and how was it to be maybe a feminist mom, even though I never considered myself as a feminist, but I was always a feminist, but not really saying putting it that forward. But
The
yeah,
words,
but
yeah.
looking back, I would say, yeah, it was also because of you also being there, supporting me, being in the back. We discussed a lot, and also when we grew up, and I came to visit you in Amsterdam, was really nice and was really emotionally enriching.
I'm so glad. And so is he ever seen as black or not at all? Also not in America.
No, he's not really seen as black, but even though he's lighter, he had like those weird moments of someone touching his head and his hair and stuff, because he has curly hair, and even though he still had that experience. So I was just shocked, and we just talked about it. And he was also, or he's aware of him being light, but also being white passing, but not really, really white, because also they would say like maybe Moroccan or Turkish, or
Wow.
but not as a white German. So
Yeah.
that's strange.
So he's not seen as a white. His features are more like our little brother, right? So you and I both have very, very West African features. I love looking at your face because I just see my face, my cheeks. I see our aunt. You're called after our beautiful aunt, Ahone, and you look so much like her. And I see our dad, and yeah, I love our faces. But I remember your brother had very more. Stefan has more, sharper, let's not say Western, but, sharper features. And Leander too, right, has different features. Yeah, North African, because I remember Stefan when he was small, people would also think he was more North African, our little brother. How is that different? Have you spoken to Stefan about it? Were your experiences also different growing up in that sense? Because featurism plays a big part. I don't think it's spoken enough. You and I both have light skin privilege, but we don't have feature privilege in that sense.
Yeah, we spoke about it, but he also had some bad experiences. But even though his features are different, but he was like also the black kid in school. And what makes our experiences different is him being a male and I being a female. And for when the topic was exoticism, oh God, and for him was just like. Yeah, how do you say, like a female or male fear, like he was more he
Yeah.
was put into a different direction,
Yeah.
more like the dangerous guy,
Yeah.
the one who's being, or others are being afraid of him, even though he was a really small and happy kid. So that
Yes.
was, I think that was even more than the features, but growing up, yeah, but it is
Experience that.
Leander is, it is also different because his features are different. But I was just like shocked because he's a lot lighter, and even though I was thinking that he wouldn't have such experiences, it still happened to him, and I'm just like, okay, how long are we going to do this, or how long are we going to make people aware that it's not okay, and we're still struggling and it's still going on.
Still going on. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I think I can say that even in Germany and in the Netherlands the same. It's not easy to be a Muslim looking, if you have like Arabic or North African features or Turkish or Mediterranean even features, that is not easy in our countries, both of our countries. That's for boys, that can be very hard. There's a lot of racism and discrimination against, Islamophobia. It's a big thing. I think in Germany. I mean, I definitely in the Netherlands, but I think in Germany too. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. So if you look that way, yeah. And it was, but when he was in the United States, so he was in the South, right? Was he in Texas?
He was in Texas. Yeah.
So how was his experience there? Was he seen there as a because in America they kind of like, even it's called the one drop rule, used to be like, right, if you were even till 1/16th, like in the days of slavery, you were not ever white if they would find out, right? But I think officially from 1/16th, so Leander is a quarter black. So if his child is 1/8 black, no, still black. And then from 1/16th black, you could kind of like start passing or consider yourself white. So how did he experience it when he was in Texas?
He didn't really tell me that he had some negative experiences. He was more like maybe the interesting guy, because he came from Germany, and everybody was like, okay, he's the German, but he's the maybe light German or black German. So it was also really interesting. And for him was more sometimes from the outside, like being a Latino. So he was already, I was asked about that. But for him, he really liked the experience of being an American, being a lot with a really diverse group and people, because Germany it's getting more diverse, but it's still different. And he really wanted to go back to the States. So he was really, very happy to be there.
Yeah. Well, now our situation is easier. I have kids in college. I have like a guest room. So he's old now, and he's older now. He can go, he can help and do stuff. So he's always welcome here. Definitely. So let him come to New York. Now is the perfect time.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of letting him go right now because of the political situation in the States. So
yeah, I know.
But in New York, I think it's fine.
New York, no, yeah. He's safe. You're safer. I think New York is relatively safe. Yeah, absolutely. Would love to have him. And he's still playing basketball, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and my daughter her girlfriend is a great basketball player. Yeah, so they can bond over that. So that would be awesome if he comes over. Okay, my dear, now looking back at everything and our youth, our dads, tell me what gives you the biggest pride of being of African descent?
That's a tough question. I can't put it into words, really.
You're a politician, so you're good with words.
Yeah, but it's kind of emotionally also, because when we started talking about having this conversation, and yesterday I was thinking, okay, what makes me really feel African, feel powerful. And I dreamt about Dad, and I dreamt about him in the clinic and us being around, and was just like a very happy feeling, just knowing to be loved and to have a big family. I know whenever something happens, I can just call anyone and they will be around at the moment. So it's just like, for me, I'm really happy about everything, and it all made me to the person I am right now. All the struggles also sometimes, but I found myself within this family very well, and I would hope for many people also to have the same a similar experience, and also like being Afropolitan, like our family is all over the world. It's really, and we're still linked. It's just like, even though we're far apart, it's still, the bonding is still there. So I'm really happy for that.
Yeah.
And really grateful.
So grateful. It's that I spoke to one of my first guests in this show was Toria Beard. She's a Broadway dancer, choreographer, and she explained so beautifully about Black as a community, that sense of community and the culture. How, of course, you can think of music and sports, all the entertainment stuff, but there's also this sense of community, right? Of being together. And we experienced that a lot in Cameroon, even when, at the funeral of our dad, I remember us all being in the village and all mourning together, and that togetherness. And we still, have that in even our family group chat. That's very special, that warmth. I'm so proud to be part of that community as well.
Yes, and I'm also trying to put that further, because when I was putting my team together, for me it was very clear also to have also Black women in my team, and also to be part of the community here in Germany. So I'm trying to go further with them, and maybe making the path easier for the ones who are coming after us. And also that was something you said. I think it was also a quotation, like it's not us doing it for ourselves, even though maybe we have passed and we have gone the way and it's hard for us, but there's so many people, so many coming after us, and for them we're doing this fight, and it's worth this.
Yeah. I've been researching a lot about also our people, Bakosi, and what's so beautiful, that's such an element, because Bakosi is female centric. Female has a very special part in our people. And also in the sense of community, the women, they think not only what's good for us now as women generation, but it's always also about what's good for the community and for the next generation. That's very part of the Bakosi, knowledge, Bakosi family and community system. So it's so beautiful to hear you say that. I'm so proud of you, and Dad would be so proud of you.
Thank you.
He's looking, I know he's looking over and seeing you shine in politics, and I love seeing it on social media. I'm going to link everything in the show notes that people can follow your work and support you. Where can people find you? Where can people support you?
Oh, well, I'm on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and I'm also on YouTube, but I hardly use that, because it's also a question of resources, and it's a lot of time. So
get an intern. Get those girls from the high school who you met to be your social media interns.
I'm doing that a lot, because it's so amazing. There's so many young people doing it, coming. It's really great. Yes. Thank you. And it was really nice, because it was really happy when I dreamt about Dad yesterday, and he would be proud of you too. And do you know what he told me? And I think that's it's all for us. So it's like giving us the wish to do the best for humanity. So I think that's really like something that is with your work and my work. So he really put a lot of things in our baskets and gave us a lot of gifts. So don't cry, and then I'm going to start crying.
No cry. You know me, I'm such a crybaby. Oh, but that's a beautiful dream. I'm so happy you dreamed of Papa and that you shared it with me. Yeah. Well, darling, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. I learned so much from you again about how you put your work, how you put community and work together, and what an amazing example you are for all those young girls, and how you're making such important things into policy. And, I know the good will overcome. The good will overcome. You're doing it. We're doing it.
Thank you.
And see you at your wedding.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for watching another edition of No Boundaries, the podcast. I'm so excited for these conversations. Please let me know what kind of topics you want us and me to discuss with other beautiful, amazing women of African descent. Please, leave me reviews are very important to me, especially on Spotify and on Apple. I need more reviews. It would be great. And I know I have some amazing 5-star reviews, but if you also can leave just one sentence, that's better for me to, to get into the right algorithm. My YouTube community is growing. I'm so proud of that. And there's more discussion now going on in YouTube. So please respond to this on YouTube. And I really, really want to thank also my amazing production manager, Sarah Tollach, who works with me. And if you're interested in working, maybe, Lena, podcast-wise or other social media work, please check out Sarah Tollach Writes, what she does, because she's an amazing production manager and also of African descent. Hey, Afro-Latina. Okay, thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you.